Chad! Today, I got a good one for y'all. Y'all can tell by the title. We're doing another commentary video. This time, I'm going to talk about my favorite anime out of the big three. I know a hot take. The anime that I think is the best out the big three. No, that's a hot take. But we're going to talk about Bleach and how I think it's the most underrated anime, most unappreciated anime of all time. Now you might be like, how is it underappreciated? It's literally in the big three. Well, because every time you see a TikTok clip or you see a YouTube short, or Instagram reel of about the big three, they always remove Bleach. They be talking about Dragon Ball. They'll put Dragon Ball in there. I saw one nigga put My Hero in there. Like, just stop. It's Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. That's the big three. But I want to talk about the good things about Bleach that I think it does to an elite level without spoiling it, obviously, too much, because I want y'all to go watch the show. And if you watch the show off this video, come back, leave a comment, and tell me, is it good or not? Did you like it or not? Because I can understand why you don't like Bleach. Because let's go over Bleach. The start of the show is slow. Substitute Soul Reaper arc is the worst arc of the show, and it's literally the start. So I can understand why trying to get through those Substitute Soul Reaper episodes is gonna be hard. I do admit that arc is not good. It sets up good things, but it's not a good arc. It's bad pace, it's slow, it's very uninteresting at times. It's not what Bleach is like the rest of the show. Like, it feels like a whole nother show. Like, it's literally like a slice of life kind of show at the start. But skip it past Substitute arc. If you can make it past Substitute arc, you get to greatness. You get to the Soul Society arc, which is arguably the best arc in the show. So it starts off with a bad arc, the worst arc in the show, and immediately goes to, in my opinion, the best arc in the show. So yeah, I think Soul Society is probably the best arc, and that's the second arc of the series. Next, I want to talk about characters. Ichigo is not your typical protagonist, in the sense of he doesn't act like even Luffy and Naruto are very different, but he doesn't have a lot of their characteristics. Like, he's not one of those quote-unquote dumb, loud, eat a lot type of characters. He feels like a real, like, a normal guy that just happens to be the main character. He doesn't feel like this exaggerated character, which I don't think is bad, don't get me wrong. It's not bad, because I love Goku, I love Naruto. I've never watched One Piece, but I love those two, and they're just like this. So I have no problem with this type of character. I just think it makes Ichigo so cool, because he's a main character that isn't like this. And I think that's what makes him so dope. Next character I want to talk about, going from him, is a big character in the show. I want to talk about Aizen, the main villain. Well, at least at the start, the main villain. You've probably heard of Aizen. Everybody talks about him. In my opinion, he's one of the best villains in anime history. So that's another reason why you should watch Bleach and why I think it's underrated. Because even though out of all the stuff I hear about Bleach, they always say Aizen is a cool villain. Even when they don't like Bleach, they say that. So that just shows you how good and well written of a character Aizen truly is. Another person I want to talk about is the Espada, the group. Great villain group, dope villain group. Even though they don't get to do much, they leave an impact on the show. And I think they were handled very well. Another reason why I think Bleach is underrated is their vast variety. Also, let's look at Bleach power system. Something we've never seen before. The Shikai, the Zanpakuto to Bankais. It's a unique power system that I can't really compare it to any anime. Like, you get your unique... Also, it's different races in Bleach, and they have different power systems. Like the Quincy's, they have their different stuff. The Hollows, they have their different stuff. So I just like the variety that Bleach has when it comes to characters too. Another thing I want to talk about Bleach is world building. Like, and by world building, I'm not talking about the main world, like Earth, like the realm of the living, because it's no world building in that world. They literally only fight in Karakura Town. Literally, the whole show takes place in Karakura Town. But when we're outside of the real world and we're in you get the Soul Society, you get Wake Mundo, you get Hell, you get the place the Quincy's from. I'm forgetting the name of it, but you get all these unique, cool places of the afterlife. I just think that's so cool. I love the concept of how hollows are. Because usually demons and stuff like that are used, but this show uses hollows. Hollows have a unique concept of they are dead peoples with like holes in them that eat people to try to fill up that hole inside of them, which is different. That's a different level. That's really a different level. Then the show is funny. Like, even if, like, I will admit, Substitute Art is the worst art, but it's funny though. At least I can say that about it. It's funny. It's funny. You're gonna have a couple laughs. Like, the show is funny. If I have to describe it to a person, like, it's like Demon Slayer type funny, because Demon Slayer has a lot of jokes and funny moments. I think it did get that from Bleach. And Bleach, another reason why I think Bleach is underrated, it inspired a lot of y'all favorite new gen. Bleach, it inspired Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen. I see in both of those shows, I see a bunch of Bleach in both of those shows. Like, it's a lot of influence. If you watch Bleach, then watch them, you can see the influence. Not saying they just copy Bleach, no. I'm saying I can see the influence within it that makes it good. I just think that Bleach gets a bad rap because the anime ended when it was like still going on. The anime ended, and that was bad. But now Bleach is back and people are liking it again. 1,000 Year Blood War is going on. And 1,000 Year Blood War is a great finale to such a great manga, in my opinion. Like, you gotta get on the Bleach train, Chad. I'm putting y'all on to greatness. Everybody I put on the Bleach never said they didn't like it. It became one of their favorites. I have not put somebody on the Bleach and they didn't like it. I just don't know why it gets this bad of a rap. I really don't know. It's such a good show with great characters, great arcs for characters. You have Ichigo's arc, you have Rukia's arc, how much she develops, Byakuya going from this like villainous character to ally of Ichigo and everybody. Like, it's just crazy how much change happened in a small amount of time in the series. Like, a lot of characters change for the betterment of the character. And that's just beautiful to see. You don't really see that a lot in anime to this type of level. And I think that's why Bleach is just so underrated and unappreciated. Because the stuff Bleach does well, a lot of animes don't really do that. So I think that's the problem. People are so used to the typical shonen or the isekai, and they're not gonna like Bleach because of it. But I just think Bleach changed the mode of anime. Like, it doesn't get credit for the fact that it changed the mode. Look at these new gens, bro. A lot of them are Bleach. And that's cool. A lot of them are Bleach. Bleach is to the new gens what Dragon Ball Z is to the big three. Not saying that it was copying, saying it influenced them. I see a lot of influence. Yes, Naruto influenced shows too. I will admit, you can see Naruto influence in JJK, Black Clover. But I don't see it to the extent of Bleach in my opinion. Another thing I want to get on with Bleach, talk about with Bleach, is the fact of the fights. Like, Bleach fights are so good choreographed from the beginning of the show. Well, not the substitute arc. It's a lot of just cutting down hollows in one hit. But look at Soul Society. That fight with Ichigo versus Byakuya. The fight with Ichigo versus Renji. Like, these are S tier fights. Like, the whole sword, like the sword fighting is just beautiful. It's just so beautiful, chat. That's the only way I can describe it. It's just beautiful to watch. Like Ichigo versus Kenpachi, Uryu versus Mayuri. Like, we have dope fight after dope fight. Like, it's crazy. Like, I love that about Bleach. Also, I love Bleach's variety in its arcs. Like, Substitute is nothing like Soul Society. Soul Society, you could say, is kind of like Waco Mundo / Arrancar arc, but I wouldn't say so. They're very different. Like, very different. The main plot of Soul Society is saving Rukia, so saving a character arc, while the Waco Mundo / Arrancar arc is basically like a war. It's like a war arc trying to stop Aizen, basically. It's just like a trying to stop main villain war arc. Then we get to the Fullbrig arc, which is like this mystery drama. It's like this mystery arc where you're trying to figure out what's going on. Ichigo's trying to figure out what's going on, trying to see, and it's twist after twist after twist until we really figure out what really was going on. And I think the Fullbrig arc is especially underrated in the Bleach community, just because it doesn't have, because Ichigo doesn't have his powers. We don't have a lot of Ichigo fighting scenes. It's more of a contextual kind of arc. It's not a lot of fighting in that arc. It's a lot of more solving. You're trying to figure out the pieces to the puzzle, basically. And I love that. I love how the anime was able to switch that up. It didn't feel weird. It felt good, actually. Another reason I think Bleach is so underrated, and another thing it does way better than other popular animes, is power scaling. Now, I heard RDC, they said that Bleach power scale is all over the place. I honestly disagree. I think Bleach power scaling is one of the strong suits of the show. Because I don't remember that many moments where power scaling was bad, or certain characters were just strong out of nowhere. Like, I don't remember this. Like, Unohana being the strong first Kenpachi kind of made sense because we never saw her fight. Like, she didn't fight. It would be different if we saw her fight and she got packed up. Then it would be like, huh? Her? But no, it makes sense. Then Kenpachi, we always knew he was tough. I don't know no bad, really, power scaling in the show. Ichigo training in the Don guy. Now, I will admit this. There'll be moments where there's some bad power scaling moments. One just came to my head. When Ichigo turned into Vastalorde. Because Ichigo was getting mauled by Ukiura. Just mauled. Then he went Vastalorde. And the fight became... Now Ichigo's mauling Ukiura when I think it should have been more even. There's no way you're telling me Vastalorde is just that much strong that Ichigo went from significantly losing to significantly winning. Like, that's a huge jump. That's a crazy jump. So that is bad. But it's like one or two moments of that. And there is an excuse of that, as it is White and Ichigo turning into his Vastalorde form. But there still shouldn't have been that big of a jump. Then there's Don Guy Ichigo, which you could bring up, but Daiga Ichigo, I mean, it's Ichigo after he trained 5 years at his max potential. So it kind of makes sense why he's that strong. Do I think he should just be slapping Aizen around? Not really. I think it should be way more close than what it was. Like, it was really one-sided. Aizen touched him like one time. It was very one-sided. But I think it should have been less one-sided. Those two fights, I think, were where the power scaling lacked. But those are the only two I can think of. Like, those are really the only two. And that's good for an anime that has a bunch of fight scenes and a bunch of characters. I can only think of two egregious moments in power scaling. That is very good. Alright, so I want to now bring up another thing. I want to talk about the Gotei 13 and the way they work. I really like the way the Gotei work. I think it's a unique concept and very different than anything I really seen before. And the Gotei clearly inspired a lot of new gen anime, being the group that they are in the organization, the way they work with the captains, the lieutenants, the seat members. Also, we have a lot of dope side characters in Bleach. Bleach's side characters are so tough. Yamamoto, a dog, a legend, a beast. Then we got Shinsui, beast. Then we got Take, not a beast, not a beast, no. Not a beast, chat. Not a beast. Not a beast. But we do have Byakuya. He's tough. We got Renji, who gets a lot of hate because he loses a lot. But Renji's a dog. He ain't never ducked the fade in his life. Put some respect on Renji's name. So yeah, I don't get why they get bad reps, honestly. A bad thing about Bleach, though, is the filler arcs. The filler arcs are bad. They are pretty horrible. I only watched one of them, the Bound arc. I've heard bad things about all of them. Except, I've heard good things about the Zanpakuto filler arc. But it doesn't really make sense because it's not canon. But if you just watch it as like a fantasy universe version tale, I guess, but it doesn't really make sense. And the Bound arc is horrible. And I would know that because I watched it and I was lost. 4 words. Going from the Soul Society to the Bound arc was atrocious. Don't watch none of the Bleach filler arcs. But at least Bleach has filler arcs, so you can skip the filler arcs. You don't have to watch those. They're pretty easy to skip. You can get right to the action. You don't have to be watching an episode and all of a sudden you're in Mexico. You'll be perfectly fine. It's straight over at Bleach. I do think that's actually a good thing that it has those filler arcs though, instead of like spread out filler episodes. Because I hate filler most of the time. Some filler's good filler, most filler's bad filler though. Another person I want to bring up in this whole debacle, in this talk we're having with my guys, you know, ATR, stand up, I love y'all boys. But, or even if you're a new viewer, shout out to you, man. I respect you. Because you clicked on the thumbnail on the title and you was like, Bleach? Let's hear about it. Yeah, but I think you should watch Bleach. It's a dope anime. There's really not that many cons in it. There's a lot of pros. It's just such a good anime. And it gets such a mid route. Like, people just mid it because of the first arc. Like, usually that's why they mid it. They mid it because of the first arc. And I don't get why. I just don't get why. You gotta keep watching. If you can get through 100 episodes of One Piece, you're telling me you can't get through 13? We gotta be real, chat. We gotta be real. We gotta be real. We have to be real with ourselves. How are we gonna be great if we don't be real? another thing Bleach has going for it is the animation. Because the original series looks great. Like the OG Bleach, that looks great. Fullbringer looks amazing. And it's Thousand Year Blood War is top 5 best animation I've ever watched. Like, it's crazy. Bleach got the Demon Slayer treatment. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. I love y'all boys. More content coming out next. Peace.